Well, Bob, it's a pleasure to have you here today.
Thank you. Good to be here.
I was a first classman when you were a fourth classman, and
I remember that.
I can't say that I remember,
You should remember
many
me,
people in the
no.
class of '74. But tell us a bit about your career since you graduated from the academy in '74.
Well, graduated in '74 and on a Wednesday and got married on Saturday up on the hill along with about 40 other people. I had the 4 to 4:15 slot, and there was a bunch of brides and grooms behind me, so it was pretty romantic, as you can imagine. And I served in Dallas for 2 years, which was a great tour. I had some wonderful mentors there, Lee Smith and Al Miller, Fred Ames, if you remember those guys. And then after Dallas, I was skipper on the Cape Strait, which was a 95-foot patrol boat that tied up in Rockaway.
Okay.
I worked for Jim Paskowitz, another great mentor. I would have to say those 2 years on the Strait were probably the best 2 years of my career, full time. I mean, from then till now, that's the best job I think I've ever had. And then I spent a year in MIO New York, and finished my 5 years. In June of '79, my wife's career was moving much faster than mine, both with monetarily and we needed to stay in New York City. So I got out, and that's that.
Mm-hmm.
And then I joined the ship brokerage firm where I'm at now, MJL. I joined them in May of '79, and I've been there ever since. So,
Well, that's fabulous.
yeah.
How'd you get involved with the Coast Guard Foundation?
I went to a dinner in New York. Being in the maritime space in New York, we're brokers. We buy, sell, trade, employ, construct, scrap, primarily oil tankers. And so I have a very close affinity to the maritime world in New York. And, of course, the maritime space participates in Coast Guard Foundation dinners, Seamen's Church dinners, NMHS dinners. And I went to the Coast Guard Foundation dinner, I think it was in 2000, and I bumped into fellow board member John Johnson, who's now the treasurer for the National Coast Guard Museum Fund. And I knew John from I used to be tournament croquet player, and I used to play with John and his wife all the time, but we never crossed paths with the Coast Guard. And I saw John at the dinner, and he said, "What are you doing here?" And I said, "What are you doing here?" And the next thing you know, I was interviewing with our late past president, Barbara Richards, interviewing to get on the board, and I was accepted. So I think I've been on the board since 2001, something like that.
And now you're its chairman. Can you talk about?
Now I'm chairman.
Obviously, you moved up a little bit.
I moved up a little bit, and a lot of people can, give me a lot of condolences when I took this job because no good deed goes unpunished. But no, I'm very pleased to be chairman. We're really blessed. We've got 85 board members around the country, representing all different facets of industry, whether maritime industries or other businesses. Only 50% of them, by our bylaws, can do some sort of business with the Coast Guard or be regulated by the Coast Guard. So that leaves, 43 people that are doing other things. But it's a highly motivated group of persons, almost to the man or woman. And we have a 14-person staff in Stonington, which are the professional fundraisers and organizers, and they're leading the charge here for the foundation, and it's just a great group. I'm really pleased to be involved.